Hey there everyone, this is Michael Dougal, the Nootropic reviewer, and during this video today I'm going to do a product review on GABA as a nootropic supplement. A lot of people use it for sleep, and then some of the other uses are for anxiety and for actually improving growth hormone levels. As we can see in this study over here, the improvement of sleep by oral intake of GABA, but they did specify specifically what GABA was responsible for, and we can see here that the oral administration of GABA of only 100 milligrams had beneficial effects on sleep. It shortened sleep latency by 5.3 minutes, meaning that subjects were able to sleep a lot faster from the moment that they actually got to bed, and then also it increased non-rapid eye movement sleep. And what I can share from my experience with GABA, I will rate it a 3 out of 10. It's as you'd expect. It's fairly safe, it's been around for a long time, but it's just simply not that effective. Perhaps it's something you can use if you've tried everything out there for sleep and you didn't see good results with. When it comes to the dosage, that's the pretty confusing part, because people are taking dosages of like 200 milligrams, but then you also see dosages of 5 grams or even 7 grams. And then you're going to see it in a lot of sleep products out there, like sleep nootropic blends. This is one of my favorites called Dream Water, where what they've done is they've actually mixed melatonin, 5-HTP, and GABA, which are 3 great supplements, but even then, I don't use that too frequently. There have been several periods when I've taken GABA like 30 days straight, and I really didn't see like any benefit whatsoever. But now that I have sleep trackers, things like my Oura Ring, perhaps I may give this another shot just to see if there's any benefit with it. But what's really neat is its use for anxiety. So the way you want to look at GABA is something which is going to calm you down, may help with sleep, not at all stimulating, yet at the same time it's something that you can actually take in the daytime to help you calm down a little bit. And here's an anecdote that I found on Reddit, which can attribute to the fact that GABA may be just super effective with some people and not that effective with some others. This says, GABA has changed my life. They've been using GABA 750 milligram pills 2 times a day, started 2 months ago, and they say my anxiety has diminished significantly in public and social situations, and another benefit they've experienced is enhanced focus. So it's kind of similar to L-theanine, but L-theanine I see as a lot stronger. That's why L-theanine may just be so much more popular. With GABA, you can take it in the day, perhaps if you're feeling somewhat anxious, perhaps if you have like an upcoming meeting where you're going to be under pressure, you're going to be nervous, then GABA, it could be a good supplement. And in those situations, you would only take a dosage of 100 milligrams to 200 milligrams. But that's the really tricky part, in that I would really recommend that if you get GABA, you may just not know how much you need to take specifically for its use. But the good news is it's pretty affordable at the end of the day. Again, you'll probably not find it that effective, so you can use it along with stimulants, along with other nootropics that you may want to consider taking for sleep. Perhaps if you don't have a good diet, you may have very low GABA levels. And as a result of having low GABA levels, what's going to happen is depression, anxiety, chronic stress, having difficulty with concentrating, having memory problems, muscle pain, headaches, insomnia, and other sleep problems. So perhaps if you have any suspicions that maybe your GABA levels are low, then it doesn't hurt to try taking GABA. And for these individuals, you're not going to really notice any acute benefit of ingesting GABA and having like lower levels of anxiety. It'll be more so that you'll take GABA, you'll probably notice it within a couple of weeks if you're having one of the higher dosages of like 3 to 5 grams once a day. And let's talk about growth hormone, because there's very few supplements, if any, out there that can actually accomplish you getting higher growth hormone, because higher growth hormone levels are going to be responsible for increased muscle mass, losing fat, having better sleep quality, being in a better mood. It's almost like improving your testosterone levels. Like, it can only just get better. As shown in this study over here, the subjects actually experienced 400 times more growth hormone levels after ingesting GABA. So this is obviously very significant in a practical sense. Does it actually mean that you will build muscle? Nobody knows, but there can be a reason why you don't see GABA in a pre-workout supplement, for example, or in any pre-workout supplements, and that could be because of the fact that the cons would outweigh the pros here, and that the pros may be that it may slightly help you to build more muscle mass, but the cons being is that, of course, that it may relax you, may fatigue you a little bit, and you'll be too tired to accomplish a really good workout like you'd want to. And the conclusions of the study do clearly say that the increase of growth hormone levels, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to translate to skeletal muscle hypertrophy. But something to really note there is that they were using a very high dose, that's 3 grams, whereas if you look at the supplement bottles for GABA, typically it's going to be a very low dose. Like, this is an example of GABA Brain Food by Natural Stacks, and their dosage is 633 milligrams. Then again, we have some of the lower doses for like anxiety or general nervousness or worry. Let's say if you're approaching an exam, I see that as a pretty good use for GABA, just to make sure your emotions are in check and you can still be present and work as you'd like to. So if you're using it for calmness, for relaxation, you can get away with taking the capsules. But if you're taking some of the higher doses, 3 grams, 4 grams, even more, I don't recommend it, but then you may want to go ahead and get the powder form. Just make sure that you weigh it. Here's what the powder actually looks like. It also came with like a small scoop, so this would be about 2.5 grams. That's a heaping scoop. And from my experience, it really doesn't matter whether you take it in a fasted state or in a fed state, but there are a lot of users of GABA that do use it for anxiety, and they notice that they get better results when they take it in a fasted state, kind of like L-tyrosine. But I want to remind you, like GABA, it's naturally occurring, guys. It's found in foods. It's found in most fruits out there, just in very low amounts. So that's why you need to be really taking it in supplemental form if you want to see those benefits. And looking at the side effects, here's the great thing about GABA. You could almost look at it like side effect free. Even like the worst side effects are really nothing if you look at some anecdotes, but some of the more common ones include diminished appetite. Again, not necessarily a bad thing, maybe a good supplement then for weight loss. Constipation, burning throat, drowsiness, and fatigue. There's no surprise with that. Of course, we know it's going to tire us out a little bit. Muscle weakness, shortness of breath. Of course, if you experience that, then don't ever consider taking GABA again. There's other supplements out there that can help you achieve the same benefit that you're looking for. And there's actually some good alternatives when it comes to GABA. Like we mentioned, L-theanine. Another one is 5-HTP if you're really looking for like that boost of happiness, that calmness. Some other good ones for relaxation include lemon balm extract. And if you really need something like really strong for sleep, I don't recommend melatonin, but I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with using melatonin. Let's say once a week. I'm personally only using melatonin maybe 2 or 3 times a month, perhaps if I just need to sleep a lot earlier, or perhaps I'm traveling and I need to slightly adjust my sleep schedule. Because with GABA, what looks great is that it helps you to achieve that benefit of being able to fall asleep quicker, get more sleep, but not really like disrupting your sleep. And that sometimes people use melatonin, and what they notice is that they fall asleep fast, but they also wake up a lot earlier than they would want to. For instance, so you plan to sleep for 7 hours, and then you use melatonin, you get to sleep fast, but then you're only able to sleep for 6. So overall, at the end of the day, melatonin is actually counterproductive. There really isn't like a whole ton of research done on GABA on human beings, but what I have found from my experience, surprisingly, is that actually mixing GABA with other sleep supplements has really helped me to have a good restorative sleep. For example, this product I found called Slumberland, it's great, very similar to Dream Water in that they've mixed a number of ingredients there. They have a small dose of GABA, only 500 milligrams. They have things like lion's mane. They even have a little bit of Phenibut just to make sure that your sleep quality is pronounced. I don't use it all the time, but that's one way in which I see GABA a pretty good part of an overall sleep stack that you can use sometimes when you really need to. And I really hope you did find this information informative. If you did, consider subscribing, drop a comment. What's your thoughts on GABA? I want to know in the comments section below. And if you'd like to chat with me one-on-one, you can do so over on Patreon, or you can send me a direct message on Instagram. Be sure to visit our Discord server where we have a 24/7 chat forum. We're answering questions in a time-sensitive fashion and having a lot of fun. I thank you for your interest in nootropics, and I look forward to seeing you all next time.